but yeah, I guess like what were you doing kind of before you came on board? I know you had a previous consultant you were working with.
I did. So big picture, what my strategy was is I've been working off of referrals for years
Hmm.
and taking whatever came in the door, make a nice living doing that. But what I've
Hmm.
really been focused on, starting about 6 months ago, was having more control over my destiny and creating a more scalable approach to the business.
Hmm.
So I started looking for outside help to get that launched. I worked with another consultant similar to you and your firm and did not have very good results. Spent a good chunk of change over 3 or 4 months and pulled the plug on it. Um, I really liked working with you guys because I feel you're much more active in qualifying the leads, which makes it much easier. And the quality of the leads has been much higher. The quality of the appointments has been much higher as well. So it's definitely been a big improvement. I don't know exactly what you do behind the scenes, but it's very
Hmm.
effective. I
Yeah.
also appreciate the responsiveness whenever there's an issue. You guys handle it right away. So I'm super happy.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that, Bob. And as far as the first month went, yeah, I know it was a really good month. I think it was what, 3 deals in the first
I think
month?
so. I think that's right.
Three? Nice, nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, 3 deals. And you mentioned like quality. Is that like where you found, I guess, the most value out of the services, like the quality of the leads, or maybe the referral from the designers? What was that kind of
Oh
like?
yeah, yeah, that too. The designer thing has been a little more challenging. I think that's more of just like classic network building. That's where the value is for me. So I'm trying to do 1 to 2 a week.
Hmm.
Some weeks I'm better at that than others. But the real value there is just over time, developing relationships and getting lucky and meeting the right designer. That hasn't produced any fruit yet, although I do have one designer I'm talking with.
Hmm.
She doesn't do projects less than 250.
Hmm.
So she wants to do a lot of qualification on me before we talk about doing a project together, but that could
Yeah.
yield a good revenue stream there. So that's more elephant hunting with the
Yeah.
designers. And I would imagine the architects are the same way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been great. That's been a pretty steady flow of leads coming in there as well.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, and we also just kicked off the realtors. Yeah, well, I think we got 2 so far, but that's
Mhm.
it's definitely good to.
Realtors, have we? I haven't been checking my email very much the last couple of days. It's been crazy.
Yeah, it's just a great area, I guess. Because like
Mhm.
every day I check the accounts and it's just like positive reply, positive reply. Uh,
Nice.
so yeah, I'm trying to still, trying to forward those as fast as possible.
Mhm.
And then, 3 deals in the first month, out of, I don't know how many appointments we got. But no matter what, it's still a really good closing rate, especially with leads that come from advertising, right? If they're
Sure.
like referral word of mouth, it's pretty standard, but with leads that come from advertising, that's like a really great closing rate.
Thank you.
Yeah, what was like what's like the biggest insight that you have when it comes to being able to actually, do that site visit and then eventually convert them into a contract?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I've been in this business for a while. It's been almost all referral based up to this point. So I'm going through a bit of a learning curve on the direct sales, a very different process, very different sales call. When it's a referral, very often I'm the only bid and
Mhm.
I'm somewhat pre-qualified because the person has a high level of trust with me before I even walk through the door. So
Right.
those are easy. I mean, there's really nothing to it. You just show up and be responsive, and you have a good chance of getting to work. With the direct marketing bids, so what I've been focusing on are two things. One is on differentiating from what I think everybody else is saying. I think the typical contractor going into a bid like this is going to show pictures from the portfolio, talk about a few customer recommendations and maybe some projects, and everybody's going to sound the same. So what I focus on instead is talking a lot about project management, dust management. And these are topics I feel like most other general contractors coming in don't really focus on enough because the anxiety that most homeowners have with a project like this
Oh yeah.
is knowing that they're working with someone who's going to be sensitive to not making a mess in the house, And the number one complaint, I think, against remodeling contractors is a lack of communication and organization. So hammering on those two areas, I think, separates me from the pack pretty quickly. And the second big thing is very rapid follow-up. My goal is to always follow up with a written, what I call a budgeting estimate. Unless there's a detailed design, we're just talking about ranges. That should be easy to knock out within 24 hours. The feedback I get back from the homeowners is that they'll talk to 4 or 5 people, and a week later, I'm still the only person that's followed up with a written response. So they often, very often, this process will go for a couple of weeks, and they'll finally get another contractor to send a number in. But by then, they've kind of they're in a bad spot, because you're not building trust by taking 2 weeks to get back. It just puts you in a great position to win.
Yeah, that makes sense with the follow-up. Awesome. That's that's great insights. And then, I know we got some other appointments coming in. Do you have any others that are looking promising so far? Besides, what was her name that we talked about?
Allison, yeah, that one looks really good.
Yeah.
The one you just pointed out sounds like it'll be a good one too, Becky.
Yeah, Becky.
Yeah, we always like working on those large properties if we can, as long as we have the right structure going in. Those can be great projects. I'm just happy with the steady flow of leads coming in. Right now I'm doing about 3 estimates a week, 3 inside visits.
Yeah.
And even though I'm getting busy, I want to keep that pipeline full. So I probably am at a point now where I don't necessarily need the work right now, but this is all my fear is if I stop now, in 3 months when things slow down, trying to fill the pipeline up again is a slow and painful process.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the same with me when I kind of stopped the acquisition side. Like all my momentum that I had built up kind of just faded away, and I needed to reactivate it.
It's really hard to do that when you're trying to keep your head above water to carve out, 5-10 hours a week to focus on that. But it's super important not to, because you make that mistake, it's a pretty brutal punishment. There's just no way around it.
Definitely. And as far as, any feedback for us, or like, is there anything that we can do that might be more helpful, or something we could do that's better, or that would improve kind of our side? Or
Sure. And the biggest issue I'm having right now, and it's probably something I need to invest some time in, I'm having a really tough time syncing the calendar with my Google Calendar. So I'm having to manually put the appointments into my Google Calendar, and it may be that I'm doing something wrong. But I'm managing 2 completely separate calendars. We had that issue we talked about last week. I made the adjustment you recommended, and that's working just fine now.
Okay. Sweet. Well, awesome, Bob. Don't feel like I have any other questions. Give me some great feedback. Especially with the results you've gotten so far. I know a big thing was like actually getting getting deals that actually come from marketing. So, it's actually, you get your ROI.
It's huge. I'm feeling very positive about everything. And my girlfriend's been interested in this whole process. So she's kind of been looking over my shoulder on some of these things, and she's got a little bit of a background in market. She's basically, her feedback is we're doing everything the right way. So she's excited too, because she can, we started dating when I was just starting this transition from referral to direct marketing. And there was not much activity going on at all. So she's seen the rise as well. So it's been fun. Been fun to experience that together. But I'm very optimistic about where things are going. Now it's just a matter of just having the discipline to keep working the systems running nice and smoothly.
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely appreciate your feedback. And so besides that, I know you're currently a busy guy, so I won't keep you for too long, but is there anything else you have for me?
What's the best way to, I'd like to help you out. So I'm very much this way in terms of relationship building, to make sure everybody's successful together. What's the best way to share you with other contractors? Do you,
Right.
is there like a video I can point them to, or do you prefer their
Mm,
contact information? I don't
yeah.
like a passive type of thing where I give them your number because it just may be too busy to ever call you. So what's an effective way? I've had a couple people who are interested,
Mhm.
at a
Yeah.
superficial level, because I talk with my peers all the time. One in particular is somewhat interested, but he's super busy. He's hard to pin down.
Mm.
What's the best way to make that happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. I haven't really put too much thought in it, but I imagine the best way to do it is probably like direct them to the YouTube channel, which I can send you the link for.
Yeah, if you'll send me a link for that, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, yeah, and also you can give them my number too. I'm more than fine with that.